Well, hello, 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 and greetings, everyone. Welcome to our show. I know you all have been eagerly waiting for our guest tonight, Miss Natalie Johnson Lee, who is our guest on Teen Talk Live. This is Ann Dillard. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I focus on teen girls coaching. And I'm so glad you're here with us tonight, because tonight we're going to talk to Miss Natalie Johnson Lee. And if you all know Miss Natalie, she is just amazing. And our topic for tonight is 5 qualities that every mentor must have. So if you are a mentor, know a mentor, looking for a mentor, you want to share this video so everybody can hear from Miss Natalie tonight. Good night, Miss Natalie. Welcome.
Good night. Hello. How are you?
I am well. I'm well. I'm glad you're here on Teen Talk Live. It's not like we don't talk 20 times a day, but you know.
I'm glad to be here. I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you.
Make some things happen, but I'm glad to be here.
That's right. And that's what you do, girl. You work it out. So I'm glad you're here.
Yes,
So, Miss Natalie.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. How do you show up in the world?
How do I show up in the world? Oh, wow. Where'd you get that from? Well, I show up in the world a variety of different ways. A lot of people know me from being in the community. A lot of young people know me from Girls in Action. Also the mother of my children, who a lot of people know in various capacities, and I get that all the time. Or no, they get that all the time. Oh, you're Natalie's son, you're Natalie. Oh, Natalie, And they're like, yeah, that's her. Anyway, so I also, so in my role in Girls in Action, it was interesting because they had wanted me to be the vice president. And I'm like, I do not like that title. I did not like the title of vice president, because vice president sometimes is just the catch-all. They do all the stuff that the president don't want to do. So I said, no. I said, we're going to change that, because that's not me. I said, but this is what I'm going to give myself a new title. So my new title, and I work at this, and this is what I do. I'm the chief action taker of Girls in Action.
All right, Chief Action Taker. I am glad you are taking action with me tonight.
Yeah, so if you want to get it done, that's who you call it, Chief Action Taker. And she gets it done. We handle it.
Work it out.
Yes.
That is so awesome. So Chief Action Taker and Girls in Action. I'm so glad.
Well, I'm also a coach, an integrity coach, and I'm also a Nana Gigi.
Ha ha ha.
Yes. Nana Gigi.
That's probably one of your most important jobs, right?
That's one of my favorites. Yes.
Because as Gigi's, well, I'm glad to be a part of the Gigi Club. So, Miss Natalie, tonight we're talking about 5 important qualities that every mentor needs to have. This is a must-have for mentors. So we're just gonna dive right in, but give me a second before we do that, so I can just welcome our guests. We've got lots of guests on the show tonight. Oh my goodness. Adasha, welcome all the way from Senegal. And we have Dewan. Thanks for joining us. Sharon, thanks for being here. Daryl, thanks for being here. Hello, my friend Sharon. Miss Julia, I'm so glad you're here. Nancy, I'm glad you're joining us, and Gina and Catrice, yay, thanks for being here. Chief Action Taker, that's right, hashtag Chief Action Taker. And Sister Sandy, thanks for being here. Mika, thanks for joining us. And Krista, I'm so glad you're here. We're in for a very engaging conversation tonight about 5 important qualities that every mentor must have. So if you are here with us or you're joining us on the replay, please share this out so that we can spread the word. And this is our last show in honor of January, which is Mentoring Month. All right. So, Miss Natalie, 5 important qualities.
Well, I want to give a shout out to first my journaling coach, Alicia Johnson, would always journal. And I want to give a shout out to my journaling colleague, Oliver Clark, because they're watching too. So I just want to give shout outs to them as well.
Right. Well, I can't wait to meet Miss Alicia because I've heard so much about her.
She got it going on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And Chrisanne has joined us. Velvet has joined us. Sita has joined us. Welcome. Marquita, my business bestie, has joined us. And Katie's joined us. So we've got a full house tonight.
Awesome.
All right. So I know they didn't just come to hear me. They came to hear the one and only Natalie Johnson Lee.
Okay, here we go.
But
that's true. That is true. I am the one and only. Anyway.
you are, girl. So when we think about mentoring, and we've been doing this work a long time, you longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people think all you have to do is just get up and get a group of girls. Well, I'm talking about girls because that's what we do.
Right.
Get a group of girls together or sign up and just go start a group somewhere. Right. And all you got to do is show up. If they don't act right, you can just move on to the next group. Right. So
no.
Tell me about that, because we have been in the trenches.
I was thinking about this, and there's a couple of things. The first thing that I came up with, and as I was thinking about it, you must believe in the unbelievable, in the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You must believe in the impossible. And the reason why I put it like that is because when you are working with young people, you have a variety of young people. You have some of the young people that are going to come and they're just going to kind of follow the program. But then you're going to have those that you look at them, you're like, okay, I'm not sure where we're going with this one. But you've got to believe beyond what they know. And one of the things that that we've talked about is we talk about the ba. And the ba is your inner, is the core of who you are. It's your spirit, basically. Let's just call it your spirit. And we all are wired. We all come with a specific DNA. And if you're going to mentor someone, you have to know without a shadow of a doubt that they came here with purpose.
Mm.
And when you deal with them, you have to deal with the purpose in them and not the physical or the things that they're showing you. Now, they're showing you those things for a reason, but you have to speak to that part of them that may have not been talked to for quite a while because of their existing circumstances. So no one has spoken to their spirit and called them up. We know a lot of times we talk about calling people, I'm gonna call her out. No, call her up. Call her up.
Well, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of calling them out, because as mentors, that's one of the mistakes that I see people make.
Yes.
It's like, I'm gonna put you on the spot, I'm gonna put you on blast, and I'm stuff like that, and calling people out, calling kids out.
Yes, no, we call them up. You got to call them up, because you, as a mentor, the other thing that you must learn to do is you must learn to hold the space for them until they can occupy the space. And mentoring is not creating another you. Sometimes you have people that want to mentor people and they want to create a mini them. Mentoring is really about recognizing, just like when you said, how do I show up in the world? Recognizing how they desire to show up in the world, and then calling them up to that desire. So helping navigate them and guiding them to get to that place.
Yes, like Mika is saying, and she's addressing you. She said, believe in the impossible, which is it's so incredible, because sometimes we have girls, and we had Shadow on a few weeks ago. Sometimes we have
yes.
And
yes, girl, that was some impossible believing, but we work with
Shadow. Right, because there was no part of her that really believed in herself.
Exactly.
And couldn't just let it be at where she's we couldn't see her at where she was at that point, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
We had to see more for her and call her up.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. And so we've got so many people joining us. Velvet is saying, hey, that's good, Natalie. And Cordell has joined us. Shakina has joined us. And Chris Ann said, ooh, that's good. Sands have joined us. And so we are just, right into this conversation. So your first tip was, let me go, believe in the impossible.
Believe in the impossible.
Right. And then, okay, so number two.
Number two is you must remain consistent. And when I say consistent, one of the things that's important to our girls is to show up. But not just to show up every day or when you're supposed to be there, but to show up in a space when even you're not to be there. So let me give you an example. To show up for them and have the confidence in yourself to allow them to explore where they're at. So for instance, it's not about giving them the answers. It may be asking them the question to help them explore the answer, but you have to be consistent, not only in your physical show up, but you have to also be consistent in your mental and your emotional show up and your spiritual show up. So you can't teeter-totter, you can't be, over here one day and over there, because they need that level of consistency. And part of it is being there when you say you're going to be there. So consistency / reliable. But the other piece is consistent, where they know I can call her or I can call him. And I know that I'm going to get sound advice. I have young people that that don't talk to me every day, but when they need some consistent advice, something that they said, okay, I can rely on what Miss Natalie says, because not only does she speak it, she walks it out. So my life is consistent with what I'm also saying and sharing with them. So consistency is huge, and it's consistency in showing up, and consistency in showing up physically, but consistency in showing up in your whole person, in the way that you do life.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff, because they're watching you even when you're not around. They are watching you.
Right. I'm gonna give you an example of that. So I didn't even know this. So a lot of my mentees will just stop by my house. Like, they don't have they know they don't have to call, they can just stop by. And one of them said, "Oh, I knew you were out of town." I said, "How you know I'm out of town?" They said, "Well, see, when your car is parked all the way up in the driveway, that means you ain't home. But when it's back a little bit, then you're there." And I was like, "For real?" And then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, they know my patterns. But that's good, because you have patterns, which means you're consistent. You're consistent. I mean, it doesn't mean you're stuck in something, but they know that you have reliable behavior.
Exactly. And those are the same patterns that tells them and dictates to them if you're going to show up for them or not.
Exactly.
That is so true. Yep, we know when you're home too. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. So far we have believe in the impossible, remain consistent, because those mentees, and I'm talking about girls in particular, they will call you out in a heartbeat.
Not up, out.
Yeah, they'll call you. Yeah, don't mistake it. It's two different ones.
Yes.
They will call you out in a heartbeat. You said, like last week, the girls came to Girls in Action, because I run the Girls in Action in Atlanta. The girls came to the 8th grade group, and they didn't see any snacks out on the table, right? And
Uh-huh.
so one little girl, she got, oh my gosh, she got in her feelings. She's like, Miss Ann, I thought you said we're gonna have snack every week. You all, Miss Ann, don't have no snack for us. And I just, I just let her talk and talk. And I said, now, have I given you any reason to lie, to think that I'm lying to you? She's like, no, but I don't see no snacks. But she was, what it reminded me of is that, you know what? If you can't do it, don't even say it.
That's my next point.
Oh,
That's my next point.
And I did have snacks, by the way. I just had them tucked away in the closet.
I know you had snacks. I already know you had snacks. You didn't have to tell. She just didn't see the snacks. I already know that you have snacks.
Okay.
And that leads into the next one. You have to be almost like, the 4 agreements. You must be impeccable with your word. You must keep your word. And and this is the deal. And this is really important, because sometimes things happen and we are unable to maybe keep a promise. And so that's when you must tell the truth. I love, you tell them the truth. So if something happens or something shifts, you tell them the truth, and then you figure out a way, or you have a discussion with them on how to either reschedule it or do it at another time. But you let them be in the negotiation of what needs to happen next, so that you remain. And because a lot of times they say, well, all you had to do was tell me, but be truthful, and be impeccable with your words with young people. So, and also, just if something happens and you cannot do it, or you're unable to show up like you promised, tell them. Be honest with them. Explain it to them, because they understand. If you sit down and have a conversation with them, and they may be disappointed, but that's also another opportunity for you to take that situation and turn it into an opportunity for growth and learning.
Right. That is so true, because even they navigate all different kinds of relationships every day, so they already come looking for you to disappoint them.
Right.
They already come looking, and they'll test you to see if you're going to keep your word. And the truth, telling the truth, is so important. And Velvet said way back, she was right on. She said the trust factor, which is telling the truth, helped to build trust.
Right.
So we could get some other things done. But if you're not telling the truth and they're looking at your life and you're not, you might tell the truth to them, but you pick up the phone and you lie to somebody else, that just diminishes the trust.
Exactly.
And let me just pause a little bit.
Okay.
And let's see. Velvet is still here with us. Catrice said, yes, so true. And Nate just joined us. Thank you for being here, Nate. And Sabra is here. Welcome, Sabra. So if you are joining us, just say hello so we know that you're here. And please share this out so that we can spread the word about the 5 things that's necessary for mentors. 5 qualities mentors must have. Velvet said it's good, but back to work. Blessings. She was on her break. All right, Velvet, you can catch us a little bit later. Okay. All right, Miss Natalie. So we did believe in the impossible, remain consistent, be impeccable with your word, keep your word. So don't say it if you're not going to do it. And then, all right, so we are on to number 4.
Release judgment.
That's a good one.
Release judgment. Our girls and our young people, I'm just gonna say young, we work with girls, but let's say young people. Our young people come with stories, and they come with powerful stories. And the other thing that we're learning, we came with powerful stories, but many times we didn't have spaces for those powerful stories.
You better say that.
We didn't have spaces for those power stories. So now you're starting to see people who had stories and didn't have space for their stories. Their stories are coming out. So we so we have to remember, one, from whence we came and the experiences that we had, and release judgment and be inquisitive, curious, not nosy, curious. Curious is different from being nosy. Nosy is I'm all up in your business and really I probably ain't gonna do nothing about it. I just want to know. Curious is I want to understand. So I'm asking questions, not only so that I can learn about you, but the other piece that we have to also understand is that as we're learning about them, we're also learning about ourselves.
That is so true.
Because that one child or that one person that irks you, is probably you.
Exactly. It's like, what about you?
Exactly.
Is that person bringing out?
Right.
And working out in you.
Right.
That is so true, because I was sharing that with, again, we're talking about Shadow, because we shared mentorship with Shadow. And I was saying to her, I said, when you did that, when you threw that bottle across the gym, I was like, I don't know what to do with you. But by the same token, I saw me in her.
Right.
I just didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So that is so true. But
you learned.
I learned
through working with her. And this is the other thing, through mentorship, if you are open and vulnerable and non-judgmental, through navigating, being curious with them, you will also heal you.
See, now that's good stuff. That's
you
good.
You also heal parts of you that were maybe broken or never got to experience or have those conversations. If you're doing your work, because you cannot mentor and not do your own work.
That is so true. That is so true, because wow. There was a quote that I read that says, mentoring, the mentee gets something out of it, but the mentor probably gets the most out of it. And that's so important.
So this is a little phrase that I coined, and I this came up the other day. You give to grow.
Okay, I got to write that one down.
You give to grow. As you're giving to this, you're sharing time, you're giving of yourself. As you're giving of yourself, you are growing in yourself.
Wow. You give to grow. Okay, if y'all are still with us, just hashtag you give to grow. That's a good one. I like that. I really like that. That's one of them put your phone on record moment, because that's a good one right there. So you give to grow. That's good. Welcome, Tovaz. I'm so glad you're joining us. Yes. Mika, yeah, I know. Mika said, oh, Lord, help me. My, that's deep. And Catrice said, you better say that. Chrisanne said, yes. So, yeah. Alicia is still here with us, and she said, you give to grow. That's right. That is right. Hashtag you give to grow. So I am, again, so happy. For those of you who are just joining, we're having a conversation with the one and only Miss Natalie Johnson Lee from Minneapolis, who is, I didn't say this in the introduction, but Miss Natalie is YIPA's 2017 Hall of Fame inductee.
Yeah, y'all got me on that one. Yeah.
Yep. Mentor of the year. So yes, I am honored to have YIPA's Mentor of the Year here on Teen Talk Live. Okay. So Miss Natalie, we have believe in the impossible, remain consistent, be impeccable with your words. Don't say it if you're not going to do it. Release judgment, and saying that you give to grow. I love that. So we are Is that 4 so far? Okay, so we are at our 5th point.
Now this one, pay attention to this one, because this one is it's not tricky, but you have to understand it. And when I said, you were like, well, that's simple, but I'm gonna go into it a little bit. As a mentor, what you must remember is you are not their parent.
Oh,
you are not their parent.
Again.
You are not their parent.
Right.
And this is what we must understand, because we know we have some young people who have some parents, and you just be like, whoo. But even in the whoo, that is their parent. And they love I don't care, they love their parent. And so you as the mentor must honor that relationship.
Absolutely.
No matter how difficult it is, because in your honoring the relationship, you teach them how to honor the relationship. You teach them, your role in many cases sometimes is to teach them how to navigate with honor.
I love
and you that. Can't demonstrate that if you are not honoring their parent, no matter, because just remember I said earlier, we have stories that we didn't have a space to tell. Their parents probably have stories that they didn't have a space to tell. And so how they're showing up in the world may be very different from how we're showing up in the world or how we've learned to show up in the world. And your role is to teach them how to honor their parent and navigate those situations, because as you know, we're Dr. Vernon, so we have to remember that we have choice people and we have just is people. And as you grow, you should. Some of us haven't got to that place yet where you choose the people in your life. A lot of people, we have what we call default relationships. You look up and you're like, I don't know, where did you come from? How did we become friends? If you are not there yet, you should be you need to grow to a place where the relationships are by choice or by divine direction. Whereas the people the world you were born into, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brother, those are just is people. You don't have in this particular time any control over them. They just is. And sometimes that is, and sometimes what can be powerful is if your just is becomes your choice.
Exactly.
And so as parents and mentors and whomever, that's what our goal should be, is that we become choice people and not just is people. But but because they are just is, that means they are there. And our role is to remember, call them up and then teach them how to navigate with honor those who just are in their life.
Wow.
And support them in that and being a sounding board for that.
Wow. That's powerful. That is powerful. And you know what? We've talked about this sometimes. And again, I'm going to refer to Shadow because we talked about how mentors, your role is so different. And sometimes you can do some things and you can see some things that the parents are not able to do or the parents are not able to see.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean you are the parent. You're working in partnership and in collaboration as much as possible.
Right.
And I know that we've come in contact with
and I'm gonna share this, and we're not gonna say any names, but and I think this is an important thing to share. We're not gonna say any names, but we were sitting in a house, literally. And now I would be laughing because I know some other people would have did probably something different. We were sitting in a house being cussed out third party by a parent of a child we were working to help, and we sat there. We didn't get up and get back in their faces. We didn't do any. We sat there, and we demonstrated restraint, but we also did. But this is the deal: what we had to remember is our role was there to help that girl,
Exactly.
that young woman, that young lady. So we had a higher purpose. So therefore, the stuff that was swirling
Right.
in the atmosphere had no impact on us. And that's another thing to remember. I can go more than 5. That's another thing to remember. You must know why you do what you do.
Okay.
Because there's
Ooh, okay. I'm writing that down.
yeah, you must know why you do what you do. And it's this plays out in many, it can play out in parenting, it can play out in many different places. You must know why you're there. And so we were there for that young girl. And so being there, what happens is things, and depending on what's going on, things may start swirling, but you got to stay steadfast, unmovable, and focus on why are we here? What is the purpose? What is the calling? And that's why many times when you're doing this work, you have to go higher. You have to go higher. I know if Alicia's still listening, she's gonna laugh. You have to act like an eagle.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to begin to think like an eagle. You have to go above the situation and look at it from a perspective higher than maybe anybody else in the room, because then you know what to do, how to do it, what to say, what not to say. But you also you have to know your purpose for being there. You have to know that needs to be established. If you're going to do mentoring work, you need to establish that before you start. You need to establish the end before you begin.
Wow. That is so true, because if you lose sight of your purpose, then you can get sidetracked,
You get caught up in the whirlwind.
And when you're doing this work, it's so unpredictable. Ooh. That there's a lot of whirlwind that happens, and you really can get caught up in that if you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
And I usually tell my girls, think beyond the moment.
Exactly.
And that example that you gave was a think beyond the moment activity for us, sitting there listening to all of this. It's like, okay, what's the bigger purpose? Think beyond the moment. What are lessons that can be learned from this kind of stuff?
That's true. And then the last one, and this is another bonus.
Okay, so we are.
And this is fun. This was easy. This was real easy. Learn how to have fun with the girls, because they can show you some things. They can teach you some things. Look, now I'm not a twerker, but they showed me how to twerk, and I was like, okay, girl, that's enough. Look, thank you for showing me. You won't see me doing that in public, but thank you. But and when I say that, you emerge. You know how it says you are of the world. You're in the world, but not of the world.
Right.
You can be around them and in with them, but you don't have to absorb it and become like this. Like, this is the deal. You don't have to become they ride or die or they roll out partner. You are their. I should put that one on there. You are their mentor. Right. Not they roll out, not all of this kind of stuff, because there will come a time when you have to step up. And you don't want that, right, and you don't want that step to be too high.
That's right. That's right.
Really too low. Yeah.
So Nate said, this is for girls. Okay, bye. Well, you know what? The thing is, we work with girls. And so I hope you didn't leave, because as a parent, you might want mentors for your boys too, and for your girls, Nate. So it's for everybody.
The principles that I gave, we gave girl examples, but I can turn around and give the same examples for boys. I raised boys too. So let me just say this. I can give you some of the same things applied to to my sons, the sons that I raised. Okay. So let's, don't miss out on your blessing because you think it's not wrapped the way you think it's supposed to look.
Well,
okay,
that's one of the principles we teach our girls too, right?
Yes. You can take the nuggets and apply them.
Okay, I'm putting that one down as number 9. Don't miss out on the blessing because it's not wrapped the way you think it should.
Right.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So we are, wow, this is just a wealth of information. And this, we started out talking about mentoring, and every time I turn around, there's another mentoring program popping up. And I think about even the school where I mentor at in Atlanta, and the girls, they're like, well, we didn't know if there was group today. We didn't know if there was group. And we're like, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's group. Because we're teaching them to expect us to be there. Because so often people pop up and they leave. It might be a disagreement with somebody. It might be a disagreement with administration. It might be, something, but knowing your bigger purpose and why you're there, right, that allows you to keep showing up.
Right. It does. Mm-hmm. It does. And yeah, and that's an important piece because we have our program is in schools, but I still have young women that our program may no longer be in that specific school, but I still have young women that I am still mentoring and working with, and we're not in that school, or they have went to another school, and we are also working with them to train them to understand as it's like once a part of Girls in Action, always a part of Girls in Action. So you always can call us and have a conversation. So let me just say this right here, especially for any of the girls that are in Girls in Action that may be alumni, they may have graduated and be in college, or they may have just graduated from high school and they're still trying to figure some things out. You still have access to us. You can Facebook me, message me. I'm not friends with y'all on Facebook. Y'all already know that. Anyway, but I know how to find y'all if I need to. But so it's not about, and the kids are used to that. They go, oh yeah, that program was here, it's gone. We don't know where the people are, or those type of things. I think you were on the phone with me the other day when I was in Costco's, and I'm like, girl, what you in? She said, yeah. I said, okay, where you at? What you do? And that's the other thing, even when I'm out, I can't really walk by a young person without having a conversation. I don't have to know you. I don't have to see you. And I'll start talking to, if their mother's there or their father's there, I'll start talking to them and then talk to the child and be like, so what are y'all doing? So what's going on? Because I think that, it's just important for us, for our children to know there still is a village. There's still a village.
That's good.
Yeah. So you can't walk by and say
that.
Exactly.
Then the kids will believe that.
Yeah, so there still is a village. There still are people that are concerned about your children. There's still people that want to see them do their best and be their best in the world. So, yeah, so you still have to remind people that there still is a village.
That's good. Let me check in on our crew. Okay, so Tavassa, yes. And Mika said big picture thinking, and Tavaz said it takes a village, and yes, it does take a village, and it's something because we have to be careful and choose our village carefully. We have to be wise about people who we invite to be in our village because we are entrusting them with the lives of our children, our most valuable prized possession.
Yeah, you know what? And it's interesting because we didn't talk about, as far as a parent and what you need to look for in a mentor. I think that's actually a whole nother show because I can go a whole nother probably half hour on just that alone. But I wanted to talk about some of the characteristics to look for. But this is what I will share as a parent, and I'll challenge you a little bit about inviting people into the village, because most of the people are already in the village. What happens is, as protectors in the village, we have to know and be aware, and we have to show up in the village. You know, just like I said to the mentor is not the parent. I can say to the parent, the mentor is not your babysitter.
Well, you better say that again.
The mentor is not your babysitter. The mentor is someone that you haven't trusted, and they may have your children or for a time, and you can run and do some errands, but they're not to be, you are still the parent, and you should have a good relationship with that mentor as well as your child, because this is the deal. This is when it gets good, when you guys can work together to help your child rise to their purpose and potential. When you work together, understanding that, okay, this person is mentoring my child. I trust her. Mm-hmm. I trust her judgment because I know her character.
That's it.
So you need to know the character of the people that are spending time with your children. So I trust her judgment. And I know if something crazy comes up,
right,
then go to them and ask them. And I also know if my child says something crazy, I can call that mentor and say, look, this was the discussion, instead of saying, oh, no, she didn't.
Right.
So it's about having real relationships. So no one really should be spending time with your child that you don't know.
That's so true.
And that you don't know something about. That includes the teachers that you send them to school with.
We can just pass the offering basket right now.
So we could go, but that's another show. So if you want me to come back when we got more time, and then I can elaborate on just as a parent's role, the parent and the mentor relationship, because that's a huge piece too.
It is a very important piece. And also it's important for the parents to realize that the mentor is not your child's bank. Right? This is where you insert one of them Kermit memes with the muck. So don't send your child to go ask Miss Natalie for that. Go ask Miss Ann, or don't do it because you know that your mentor won't let you go without.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna need to do another show about that.
Yes, we will. We will. Mm-hmm. I will be glad to come back and do that.
So, Miss Natalie, this has been so good, and so I'm just gonna recap and thank all our guests for being here again. Again, we're talking about 5 necessary qualities that must be in a mentor, that a mentor must have. And we talked about the mentor must believe in the impossible. Number 1, remain consistent. The mentor must remain consistent and be impeccable with their words. Don't say it unless you're going to do it. And if you can't do it, have a conversation about it, and you all together come up with an alternative, right? Okay, and then you had number 4, release judgment. Okay, and number 5, well, there was a little caveat to release judgment when you say you give to grow. As you are mentoring, you give to grow. Then we are not, as mentors, we are not our mentees' parents. 2 different roles, totally different. Okay, and know why you do what you do. That was a big one because it can help you when you're getting cussed out. Look at
It gets thick sometimes. And you have to learn how to adjust the attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them girls ain't seen attitude. They think they got attitude. They ain't seen attitude yet.
Honey, you got to think beyond the moment. Know why you're doing it. I love this one. Learn to have fun
Yes.
with your mentees. That is such a good one because I it's something because I have such a good time when I'm with the girls because that's what we mentor. I have such a good time and I just like listen to what they have to say. I listen to their music. I watch their moves. I have them teach me. And you know, that's a comedy show in and of itself.
Isn't it? It is. It is.
Oh my gosh. I remember years ago, this was probably 8 years ago, we were at Farview Park. We had an outing that we were doing with the girls and they were teaching us how to dance. I don't remember what dance was out then. And oh my goodness.
Oh, you know what? I remember that. Oh, I know you got that on video too, don't you?
I believe I
do not ever show that video. Never ever show that video. Leave that video alone. But you know what? I wanted to interject this really quickly too. The other thing about consistency. So let me give you an example. So when you're to have fun, because this goes along with having fun. You don't have to, there's no need for you to compromise who you are in order to have fun with the girls. So let me give you an example. So when the girls get in my car, this was the thing, no, we can't listen to that Miss Natalie's car. So you train them and you teach them how to show up when they're with you as well. So like I've had girls come to my car and I'm like, what you got on? No, y'all, you look, Miss Natalie, no, you didn't forget. You know whose car you was getting in, didn't you? Go back, you know, and they'll go, but they'll be like, okay, and then they'll go back. And then what happens is pretty soon when you pick them up, there's certain things people say, how'd you get up? Because I've been consistent and I've been who I am. So they also know, you know, you can't be cussing. And this is the deal. Even now, if the girls in my car and they start cussing, oh, I'm sorry, because they know that what are you doing? You know, so you must be consistent, and you can still have fun. Because I'll throw on some old school music. They just Snapchat me doing my old school dances and stuff like that. They be like, "What is that?" I said, "Listen, child, let's learn something. You know, listen and learn. Listen, and I tolerate that stuff y'all listen to. Y'all gonna tolerate the stuff I listen to. We're gonna learn from each other.
That's right. That is bi-directional learning happening.
Exactly.
And you know what? That is so true. Even on the clothes issue, I've had to take some kids to Target before we go to an event because I'm like, what you got on? And they're like, Miss Ann, that's all I got. That's all I got. And I'm like, that's not gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
You know, because it's all you have doesn't mean I'm gonna compromise my standard and take you out in public looking like that.
We work it out.
We work it out because they're gonna look at me and say, she took them out like that. You know,
it's just like when you see a child with their mom or their dad, but they dad and the dad got a haircut and the son don't, or their mom and the mom's got the weave tight nails done and the child's hair is looking like, has it ever seen a comb?
Yeah.
So as a mentor, your mentee, you represent each other. And that's the one, even as you know, when I was raising my kids, I'm like, we represent each other. So I'm not gonna go out there acting crazy. They're like, ooh, I saw your mama. So you don't get to go out there and act crazy. They go, ooh, I saw your son. Come on now. They grown now.
That is so good. So good. So, and then you said you are their mentor. Know your role because you are there, even though you're having fun, you are there to move them up and call them up another level. Right. You are their mentor. Right. That was real good. And so we talked about don't miss your blessing because it's not wrapped in the package that you think it should. Don't miss it because it can come in all different shapes and sizes and age.
Exactly.
You know, we've experienced that. And I love the fact that you shared that there is still a village. There is still a village. So I'm just really delighted. I'm really excited. Miss Tina Jackson is here. Hello, Miss Tina.
Hey,
I'm so glad you joined us this evening. We are wrapping up. We're talking about, now we're up to 11.
Oh, Miss Delisa, like Miss Delisa Smith Breedlove is on here too. Hey, Miss Delisa.
Oh, all right, Miss Breedlove. Wonderful, wonderful. So we're wrapping up. If you all are still with us and you have any questions for Miss Natalie, remember, she is the Hall of Fame.
You know what? You know what?
Hall of Fame inductee, a mentor of the year for YIPA, which is an organization in Minnesota who works with youth intervention. So if you have any questions for Miss Natalie, this is an amazing time. This is the perfect time to ask her questions or shout out. This is also a perfect time to hit share so that everybody can hear this. Everybody needs to get this message out. So hit share and send in some questions. Miss Breedlove said, congratulations, Nat.
Thank you, sweetie.
Chrisanne says, congratulations. Wow. And Tina says, hey, ladies, love you. Love you too, Miss Tina. Miss you. Right? So even if you're catching this on the replay, Miss Natalie and I, we could go on forever because we talk like this on a regular basis and we could go on forever. But if you're catching it on the replay and you have questions, you know, just drop them in the comment. And again, remember to share this. Miss Natalie, how can people find you?
Well, I'm pretty public, but my email is pretty easy. It's my name, nataliejohnsonlee@gmail.com. Just put it all together in one word and add gmail.com. And then my phone, now there may be some people on here watching. If you email me, I'll give you my phone number because it's my cell number. It's the only number I carry. So, but if you email me and you want to get more in contact with me, you can also get in touch with me with the Girls in Action office. That's you know what?
Action Taker. Just call Girls in Action to ask for the Chief Action Taker.
There you go. Chief Action. They know. They trust me. They gonna know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. Right. Yeah. And also you offer coaching services.
I do offer coaching services.
Integrity.
Yes, Integrity coach, yes. And you can, and just, you know, if you email me, nataliejohnsonlee@gmail.com, we can talk about whatever it is that that you need. And I want to give a shout out to, I think I mentioned her earlier, but I give a shout out to Dr. Verna. And because the other thing I will say to you, and we talk about this even when we talk about the girls, is understanding your personal power. Is when you understand your personal power, not positional power. Right. Because as a mentor, you do have positional power, but positional power without personal power is a hot mess, and it can be an abuse of authority. So you need to understand your personal power, because when you understand how powerful you are, you only see the power in the young people. That's it. And you want to call it out. So when you understand your power, then when you look at young people, no matter how they show up, attitude and all, you see the power within them. And it becomes your heart's desire to help them realize their own personal power, because you know what it helps you to do and how it makes you feel and what it allows you to accomplish. And you want that then for everybody else that you come in contact with and you come in connection with. So yeah, understanding your personal power. Yeah. So
Dr. Tina Jackson has a question. She said, how do you deal with special grown folks who are supposed to be mentors?
Well, so Tina, I don't know when you got on the thing. Yeah. And I talked about some of those things that it depends on if they're a mentor to you or if they're mentoring young people. And this is the same thing. Sometimes people are in positions to mentor, but they don't have the heart to mentor.
Right.
And if you find people in that space, and if you're in that space with them, you demonstrate how to navigate those people to the girls. You demonstrate by how you navigate them, and then you teach them not only by example, but then you also find creative ways. Because the other thing about a mentor is you can get really creative in taking situations and environments and creating lessons from them. So, because this is what we need to understand when we're working with young people, they are going to enter a lot of different environments, just like we do as adults. And some of us are very successful at navigating those different environments. And some of us just, in certain environments, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. But if you get into an environment where it's just not gonna happen, you need to learn how to excuse yourself from that environment. So any of those type of things, any of these skills that we talked about, you can also utilize with, grown folks and teaching young people. But a lot of it as a mentor, remember, someone is always watching you, even when you think they're not. And so the special people, and this is the other thing also about some of those special people, if you develop a relationship with them, you can encourage them to look at other opportunities, or you can encourage them, because sometimes people want to be mentored, but it's never been modeled or demonstrated to them. So they think, so that's why I gave some of the things that I said, some of the characteristics that I talked about, because people show up and they think that they want to work with young people, they want to be mentors, and then they become this parental figure instead of this mentor figure. And what happens is, when you become in that place where it's a parental place, it repels the young people enough, and they don't show up and they don't share in the way that they think it is, because depending on what kind of relationship they have with their parent, that could also automatically be a sign of judgment to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And rejection, if I don't answer right, if I don't show up right, then you're going to reject me. So you gotta be, and that's not saying that's what all parents do, but they're used to those kind of that behavior and you have to understand in school, because sometimes you have teachers that one day this, that one day that's right. And then a lot of our schools operate on a blame system. Whose fault is it? What's wrong? Instead of what's right with you, and looking at the situation and turning it into a teaching and a learning opportunity, it's more punitive than empowering and instructional. And so that's what our young people are used to. So we have to be very careful as mentors not to show up and come in that same way.
Right. And you know what? The reality is, a lot of people say, I've been through something. I've had a rough life. I've this and that. So I need the mentor. And that a lot of times turn into the special people that we're talking about. Because you've been through something don't mean you need to mentor.
You still in it. You ain't been through it, because when you've been through it, you got some lessons. You still in it.
Exactly. So it's really important that you have, as a mentor, whatever you have, some sense of having your life, have worked through the things that we're talking about. Because
go ahead. Instead of saying I've been through something, I would love it if they said, I've learned some things because of some things that I've been through, and I want to share those things with young people. Can I have an opportunity, or is there an opportunity for me, for me to serve the young people? That's it. With what I have to give, because when I give, I grow.
Everybody around you grow too. That's some good stuff. So we've had such a interactive conversation. We've had lots of things that we've talked about mentoring. And you know what? It's so important as mentors that we train up the new set of mentors that are coming up. We can't just say, I've done my share, I've done my part, and just, retire. You never retire. I think about today, one of my PGEMs reached out and said, oh, I need your number. And we talked. I spoke to one of our first Girls in Action girls today. And I'm like, so you never stop.
Right.
Never stop. But it's just so amazing. The responsibility to mentor is an amazing responsibility, and it even motivates you as the mentor to work some things out in your life. And
yes, it does.
That is so good, because people are counting on you, people are watching you, people's children are counting on you, so you better get it together. Well, Miss Natalie, this has been so amazing. We said what, half an hour, girl?
I told you. I already seen it. I looked at the time. I was like, oh, I hope they lock the doors on me.
You got somebody's number, right? You know
yes,
how to get out of that church basement.
Yes, honey. So, amen.
Amen. All right. So share last words with our people who are interested in being a mentor, or is considering that. Just a couple of last words with them.
The one thing I would say about being a mentor is, one, make sure you have the time to do it. But going back to what we said, understand the purpose, your purpose for doing it, and why you want to do it, and what you want. It has to be bigger than you.
Yeah.
It has to be. It can't be. Mentoring can't be about you. It has to be about who you are giving to. Who are you depositing? It can't be, I want to do this because because that's going to show up really quick. That's where she was saying, some of the so-called mentors, because it can't be a resume builder. It has to be, it must be a space that comes from the heart, and you must know the purpose as to why you want to do it, because there are going to be times when you're going to need to stand on that purpose in order to do what you need to do. And so if you don't have a purpose for doing it, you'll be able, I ain't got time. I got stuff to do. I got to go over here. I got to go over there. Because even in all that I do, I still find time to mentor.
That is so awesome. Mm-hmm. That is so awesome. And we talked about Girls in Action, and you did reference the choice people, the justice people. And can you just tell us where we can find more information about that?
Okay, that is, most people call it the Little Purple Book. It's the power of people, the 4 kind of people that can change your life. That's about, there you go, by Dr. Verna Price. And you can buy it on Amazon, or you can call the Girls in Action office and come directly right on the north side of Minneapolis and pick it up. And we'll be so happy to exchange the book for your dollars.
And we talk about the 4 kind of people. We talk about adders, subtractors,
multipliers, and dividers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Shout out to Dr. Verna.
All right.
Well, thank you, Miss Natalie, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the amazing work. Thank you for even mentoring me as I mentor. And I appreciate that in our relationship. And it's time for you to come back to Atlanta. It's been a minute.
No, I was looking at flights last night, so don't worry, I'm coming sooner than you think.
It's been a minute.
And thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everybody that took the time out to watch this. I so appreciate you.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everyone. Again, this has been Ann Dillard coming to you with Teen Talk Live, and we are transforming the lives and minds of teens and those who love them. Thank you for joining us, and join us again next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless.
God bless.